My name is Allison Garz, and I am rising because I believe that in Atlanta we can make a difference. And that is the behavior that we are allowed to be here. So woo and amen and all the things that you might not normally do, it is welcome here. When our team first got together with Nikki Noto to decide where we were going to have our event, it was clear that we wanted to have it right here at Ebenezer Baptist Church. Because where else in Atlanta could you go to have a conversation about violence other than at Ebenezer Baptist Church? The home, the spiritual home of Martin Luther King Jr. In this home and to share 1 Billion Rising. And we also want to thank the co-sponsor, which is the Women's Ministry here with Natasha Reed Rice. So thank you for having us. So we are each here today because we have been touched either directly or indirectly by this issue. And we all have the same question, and that is, what do I do? So today, we are going to share with you and introduce to you 14 amazing people with organizations who are doing this work of helping to end violence against women and girls. And what I want you to do is, as you see them, if you feel moved or you feel like something they said really resonates with you, go home and research them. Look on our website, Atlanta, 1billionrisingatlanta.net, under speakers, and learn about the organizations and find out what you can do so that 1 Billion Rising isn't just today, but it's also tomorrow. So the campaign this year is called 1 Billion Rising for Justice, and it's the recognition that we cannot end violence against women without looking at the intersection of poverty, racism, war, the plunder of the environment, capitalism, imperialism, and patriarchy. And unity lies in these interlocking forces. So today we're going to bring that conversation together with all of these different injustices. So I just want to let you know that we are being live streamed, so if you do want to do some texting and tweeting and Facebooking, please let people know to go to 1billionrising.atlanta.net and just click on our live stream button. Also, if you want to tweet, please put hashtag #RISE4Justice and hashtag 1billionrising. Because people are doing this all over the world, so let's just keep this conversation big. So I would like to introduce one of my team members, Ms. Laura Turner-Seidel.
Well, the day is finally here. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy V-Day. The day, we've been working on this for a whole year now, and the weather messed with us a little bit, and we apologize for that. We were going to have a lovely march to Great Park, a stop trafficking march, but anyway, at least it's rain or shine. We're inside of this historic place, and I'm just so glad to be part of this. I just want to thank Allison Garz for all of the heavy lifting that she did. And a couple of other key organizers, Randy Lane, Lisa Carson, Bobby Paul, and I'd like the rest of the committee to stand up and be recognized. Come on.
Now,
Last year at the same time, what we participated in, the 1 Billion Rising, it happened all over the world in 207 countries, and tens of thousands of events and activists came out, and as a result, legislation was drafted and passed, women and girls were empowered, and grassroots networks sprung up all over the world. And so now we've evolved, and it's 1 Billion Rising for Justice. This is what Eve Ensler, our fearless leader and Shiro, envisioned.
Woohoo! Go Eve!
Several years ago, and I am the mother of 2 daughters. How many of you have daughters in this room? And granddaughters, mothers, sisters. 1 in 3 of them will be raped or brutalized in their lifetime. And when I think of what is happening in Atlanta with sex trafficking, that actually about 34,000 young girls will be trafficked in a year in our city, it just makes me sick. And I imagine that this could be our daughter or our sister. And we've got to do something about it, and that's why I'm glad we're all here today, and we'll give full attention to all of the organizers and activists who have been working on the ground, in the city, in the trenches, year after year, to make a difference on these issues. And I'd really like to thank all of them for being here today and for the work that they've done. So a round of applause. And Eve sent me a statement that she wanted me to share with you about what is happening around the world. And I think you'll be inspired and excited when you hear it. Here we are at the Great Rising. Here, where every minute a new story, a new song, photo, poster, poem, justice video is made and released from some part of the world. Young girls in the Philippines chant on the streets that if this is the new world, I want to be part of it. Here, where a genius woman mentor of formerly incarcerated women in South Central LA decides on the spot to call a rising at the county jail, essentially a mental institution where women inmates are horribly abused and left untreated, where hundreds of thousands of rickshaw drivers in India are sensitized about sexual violence and now carry signs on their rickshaws that say, "My religion is respecting women." Where the best hockey players in Croatia create a justice video to talk to men about violence against women, where farm workers for immigration reform are rising in 11 U.S. states and 4 Mexican states, where youth are rising in South Africa, Bangladesh, Philippines, and India, with poetry, concerts, dancers, and militant protests, where hundreds of cities across Italy and Germany are rising, and in Palestine, where the Police Academy, Ministry of Women, Ministry of Culture, and the government of Ramallah and the municipality are coming together to deal with the issue of domestic rape and honor crimes. Here in the dangerous zones of Syria, Congo, Iraq, Iran, and Somalia, where women are risking their lives to rise and take back the streets. Here in the Caribbean, where they rise to make all forms of marital rape illegal. Here in London, where a coalition of women demand an end to female genital mutilation and justice for asylum seekers, domestic workers, and incarcerated women. In the U.S., where activists are working to end human trafficking. In Miami, San Francisco, and where else? Atlanta. What is clear is that 1 Billion Rising for Justice has gone beyond a one-day action in 190 countries. It is a global determination to end multiple violences, racial, gender, economic, and environmental, that intersect with violence against women, women and men, No, a new time has come, and it will be determined and directed by activists on the ground in each community who know the justice they need and deserve, and community that they need and how to get it. So anyway, without further ado, our wonderful Natasha Reed Rice was stuck in Washington, D.C. It actually snowed and iced in, and the chair of Women's Ministries here at Ebenezer, Deacon Jacqueline Bob Jackson, is going to welcome you.
How good and pleasant it is when the people of God come together in unity. On behalf of our senior pastor, Pastor Reverend Raphael G. Warnock, and our associate pastor, Reverend Natasha Reed Rice, for the Women's Ministries, and all of our church family, we welcome you to the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church, America's Freedom Church. We are a program-based global ministry that is dedicated to individual growth and social transformation by living in the message and carrying out the mission of Jesus Christ. Our congregation stands strong with you today as you rise to bring awareness and a voice to end human trafficking, violence, and abuse to women and girls, to release us as we take action and fight against this epidemic that is plaguing our city, our state, and our world. And then to dance in advance as we celebrate the victory that is on the way. We welcome you into this place. We join you in this space, and we invite you to sing, to praise, to cry out, to shout out, to release as we mobilize on behalf of all the women in the world. We are
Oh, I don't want to leave.
Why do you come after that? How's everybody doing? Y'all look great.
Well, we're here for another year, right? We know the battle isn't won, but we're winning it right now, aren't we? Listen, will you make some noise right now if you're excited about what we're doing? I just want to see who's in the room. All my ladies, can you make some noise right now? Listen, when you stand to your feet all around, we're getting ready to kick this thing off. We're fighting for justice. We're fighting for peace. We're rising up. The energy is in the room. Why do you feel it?
I feel amazing.
Can you just move over that?
While we're moving up, put your ones in the air. We're rising for justice. We're taking back our streets. We're taking back our community. And we said we would not let another 1 in 3 be affected by domestic violence or any violence of any choice. So
We're gonna win this battle. Give you one to do. We're gonna teach you this song if you know it. We want you to go ahead and sing it, but if you don't, we're gonna be over this. We want to recommit to the movement. So I'm gonna sing it one time, and then I want you to sing it. We're gonna sing it. Just do your one like this. I just feel this in the atmosphere. We're gonna sing together. Come on, sing, rise up. We gotta rise up. Come on, let me sing it.
Rise up,
Lift your voice. We stand up for the ones who gave up.
stand up for the one who gave up.
I hear the people crying, calling out for change. I see the violence raging. It's awful to shine through the rain. So we stand up, so love can rise. Yeah, we rise up. Yeah, we rise. We pray for peace tonight. Well, let's sing together.
Rise up, we gotta rise up. Stand up for the ones who gave up. Rise up. Rise up, we're gonna rise up. Stand up for the ones who gave up. Rise up, gonna rise up. We gotta rise up. Stand up for those who gave up. Rise up. We gotta rise up.
Rising. Come on, make some noise right now.
Okay, this is good. This is good. Feeling it. You guys feeling it? So I remember when I first heard the word human trafficking, I thought it was like this thing that happened somewhere else. But then I learned that Atlanta is a hub for human trafficking. And I realized this is something that we really do have to make a change about. The next three people that are coming up have devoted their work, their organizations, and their lives to this cause. Actually, there are four. And I just want to remind them as they come up, make sure that you tell them your name, your organization, and why you are rising. So I'd like to begin by welcoming Mary Frances Foley with Wellspring. Thank you.
I am beyond excited to be here with you because I believe that together we can change the situation for girls all over the world. And I believe it because you are endowed with some things inside of you that have caused you to be here today. Because you have inside of your heart something that makes you want to stand for justice. And it may be because of something that happened in your past. And as I have examined my life in reflection, I realized there was an incident in my life that really marked me. And I want to share that tiny story because my goal is you understand who the girls are. So many people look at this situation, they can tell you statistics, they can tell you the problem, but so often we don't see that precious little girl who has been so violated. And it started with me when I was 6 years old. I was on the playground at my school, and I was just out there jumping rope, and I heard the taunts of an older boy making fun of my older brother, Robert. You see, he had Down syndrome. And even though he was my older brother, I knew I was supposed to be the one to protect him. So I threw down my jaw, and I walked right over there. And I rolled up like this, and I punched him straight in the nose. Blood was everywhere. And that was the last time he bullied my brother. That was before Martin Luther King was on, had taught about nonviolence. So,
today is one of the biggest and meanest bullies on the face of the earth. And it's a man, or sometimes a woman, who is willing to sell a child for their own profit. And the violence and the danger that it is to our society can no longer be tolerated. You see, there are little girls that could be my granddaughter. They're little girls that could be a part of your life. They're normal girls. Many of them have run away from home. They're running away from things that are dangerous. That's a perfect bait for those people who want to buy and sell them because they are looked on as a product. And I want you to understand that this is not a choice on their part. They're vulnerable. Our society has allowed them to become vulnerable. And unfortunately, that is a perfect environment for a trafficker to have a great business. Did you know that for every girl that he has in his what he calls a stable, he makes $250,000 a year? Come on. No wonder he's all about keeping his product to himself. And he does anything, not just with iron bars and chains, but there's mental coercion, there's emotional coercion. Girls who should be playing soccer, running track, trying out for being a cheerleader, they have been marginalized. And I want to tell you today that one of the things we're doing in 2014 is we are calling a rally cry called Never 14. I don't know if you know it, but the average age of a girl falling prey to a trafficker is between ages 12 and 14. The average age of a girl sold on the street tonight in Atlanta is 14. And in 2014, we are rallying the cry saying, never 14. We don't want any young girl who is 14 years old being lost on our streets. Not being able to be a normal girl going to school. And I just think about birthdays. I really like celebrations. And to think about a girl that doesn't get to celebrate her birthday breaks my heart. I left the program this morning. I went by and saw the girls and brought something off, and 21 of them was coming to speak to me. I said, there are people that care about you, and they are going to be an advocate. They're going to be your voice, and you should see the smile on her face. She hasn't had that in her life very often. And we have to stand up. We have to rise up. I love that part of what One Lady Rising does. We're rising to the occasion. For girls like Emily, who was hurt when she was 11, began to be sold when she was 12, and she spent her 14th birthday on the streets. She walked through our doors when she was 15 years old, believing that there was no hope for her, and really not happy to be in our program. But because of the therapists using a relationship-driven approach, and really working at what works for this particular population, she began to realize that she had great skills and she had interests. She didn't think she liked school, but all of a sudden she started doing well in school because we wanted to give them the chance to catch up to the personalized education program. And so she began to gain credits in school. She got a great level. She started going past grade level. This girl at 15 was on track to finish high school because she was doing school 24/7. We didn't have girls, but she was going to finish school too soon. Well, she finished the program at the age of 15 and went her last semester in public high school. And I want to tell you that today she's at college. She's going to be an accountant. Let me tell you something. These girls are not who you think. They are smart. They're resilient. They're funny. I just told one of them this morning, you are the bravest girls, most courageous girls I know. Because who can walk through a place and hear people say, we care about you, we want to help you, when everybody else has said the same thing they did? That's a big, courageous step to stay there. To go into the hurt of their pain and to rise above it and to become somebody amazing. They are great girls. And I don't want you to ever forget that you probably have a 14-year-old girl in your life. Either she's close to you or you've seen one you know needs help. You rise up for her. You tell her she's valuable. You tell her she's got potential because she does. And if we do that together, we will change the landscape of the situation of sex trafficking. We will end it together. And we want you to join us in the fight. We love these girls. They just light up my life. And I know you can't see them, but I want you to know I'm representing them today and telling you they're worth the battle. It is costly financially to do it. It is costly emotionally to do it. It's hard work, but it is the best work you can ever be involved in. So I encourage you to rise up today for the girls. Thank you.